Hey F1 friends! Okay, I took my time this time getting the video out because we have 4 weeks to wait until the next race. But here was our just finished race in Australia. Alright, first we'll go through the F1 drivers and their championship standings. We have, of course, the positions. We will be comparing race 2 against race 3 and who changed and went up and down. These are the driver championship standings for race 2, and here is for race 3, the way they stand now. We had a whole bunch of new drivers come into points, whereas before they didn't have points. Okay, so first of all, the drivers who were the same. We've got Max, Sergio, and Alonso not making any changes in their rank. Max got passed at the start, but soon gained P1 and had a smooth race from there, staying in P1. Sergio starts from the pit lane and then fights through the field, as is his norm so many times, to finish P5. So not bad at all. Alonso got ahead of Max at the start, but then fell back and fought a long battle with Hamilton till the end, finishing in P3. Now we have some drivers who changed places. Sainz pitted on the yellow flag from Alex Albon's crash, but it was followed by red, so they actually lost positions by pitting early, and there were several others that did that. Carlos made his way back really well though through the field and well into the points, but lost it all on a penalty, a small 5-second penalty in the end that pushed him way back to P12 in a packed field. And Hamilton, on the other hand, fought to keep Alonso behind and succeeded even after admitting that the Aston was a bit faster. He ended the race in P2. Also changing places, we have George and Lance Stroll. George pitted on the yellow flag from Alex, but it was followed by a red, so they actually lost positions by pitting early, same as Carlos. But then George Russell's car caught on fire on lap 18, bringing another safety car and ending his race. Lance, on the other hand, managed to avoid all the carnage and had a strong race, ending in P4, right behind his teammate. All right, so now the poor drivers moving down, either because they didn't perform well or because new drivers are bumping up. Charles got squeezed off the track early on and was out in lap 1. So, ouch, Ferrari. Bottas finished out of the points P11 behind his teammate. Esteban Ocon, also unlucky, pitted during the yellow flag that turned into a red flag. Plus, on the restart, he got pushed off and fell back again. And finally, he got hit by his own teammate on the last lap, ending up in a DNF. So a very sad race for Ocon. Pierre Gasly, he got up as far as P4, but ended with a DNF after running into his teammate Ocon. That's really sad for them. Kevin Magnussen hit the wall and was out. Single car incident near the end and completely lost his tire. This brought a very late safety car and then a red flag with just 4 laps to go. And then we have Alex, who lost the back end and was off track lap 8, putting him out and causing that yellow/red that impacted so many others. Okay, finally we have new people moving up from 0. They were not on the chart at all last week, having had 0 championship points, but now they do. So Lando finally had a good race. He held off Perez for a really long time and ended up in P6. Nico Hülkenberg qualified really well in 10th and finished P7, delivering some great fighting with Norris. Norris did a lot of fighting, didn't he? Oscar also doing well in the McLaren this week, landing in P8. And then Zhou did better than his teammate in the Alfa Romeo, landing in P9, bringing in points for him. And Tsunoda finally landing in the points, continuing to drive well above the ability of the car and earning a well-deserved P10. All right, so that is the drivers, and here are their, we have on the left side their points as they stood last race, and then the updated points on the right hand side. We see some closeness in P5 and P6 with Saints and Stroll tied for 20, and we have some folks tied for 9 and 10 with 6 points, and a whole bunch of people tied at 4 points and a few at 1 point. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Now let's move on to the teams. The team constructors. Again, we've got our rankings. We'll be comparing race 2 and race 3. And here are the championship standing points as they stand at the end. Okay, we have a bunch of teams that didn't change, and this is going to be expected. In those teams, Red Bull is just in their own league, just way out there. That's almost double the points of the next best team. Aston Martin manages to get further ahead of Mercedes due to George getting a DNF. Only one driver finishing is got to hurt. Ferrari gains 0 new points and is just lucky, I think, that no other team is really lined up to threaten their position, because that is a sad state when you get 0 from one week to another. And then Haas actually comes in with new points and it keeps them in 7th place. Okay, moving down, we have Alpine. After the last red flag and all the craziness, both Alpine cars, as we mentioned, were unable to resume their previous positions because they were wrecked. The 2 DNFs brought Alpine down in the standings for sure. Alfa Romeo falls behind Haas with only 1 car collecting points, though it remains close still between 6th, 7th, and 8th in the team championship. Williams keeps their single point, only shifting down because others are shifting up. AlphaTauri, kind of the same thing, moving down in spite of getting their first point finish. But hey, I've been waiting the whole video for this. The big mover is McLaren. Look at that. They've been struggling so badly, having made it through the first 2 races with 0, but essentially a good car. So finally, everyone managed to stay out of trouble. Lando did amazingly well, and so they went from 10th in the standings to 5th, and both cars finished in decent positions, and they are the reason that other teams shifted down in the standings. All right, so thanks for watching. I hope that was fun. A nice little recap, and also just seeing who shifted where. And we'll see you again after the next race.